What if I told you the Earth could not survive without the moon? Sounds crazy, right? The moon looks small and quiet in the night sky, just a pretty circle shining above us. But it does way more than just look nice. Without the moon, everything on Earth would change. Our days would get shorter or longer. The oceans would go wild. The seasons could flip in strange ways. Even life itself might have struggled to survive. The moon is like Earth's invisible helper. It pulls on the oceans, it steadies our planet's tilt. It keeps everything balanced. Without it, Earth would wobble like a spinning top about to fall. The weather, the climate, even the way animals and plants live would be totally different. You might think we don't need it, but really, the moon is keeping life alive. Tonight, when you look up and see it glowing, remember, this little rock above us is actually a giant superhero. Without it, the world we know wouldn't exist. Imagine waking up one morning and noticing the sun isn't where it usually is. The seasons are off, winter feels like summer, and summer burns hotter than you've ever known. That's what Earth would be like without the moon. Right now, our planet tilts just enough to give us predictable seasons. That tilt, about 23 degrees, stays fairly stable because of the moon. Without it, the Earth would wobble like a top about to fall, leaning more or less in all directions. Sometimes the tilt could swing drastically. A single year could bring unbearable heat in one region and deadly cold in another. Life wouldn't know how to adjust. Plants rely on steady sunlight patterns to bloom and grow. Animals depend on seasons to migrate, hunt, or breed. Without stability, many species could vanish, never finding their rhythm with the planet. But the tilt is just the start. The moon also affects the way Earth spins. Right now, a day lasts 24 hours, a rhythm that life has grown into over millions of years. Back when the moon first formed, days were only about 6 hours long. The sun would rise and set so quickly it would feel like a constant whirlwind of light and dark. Plants would struggle to photosynthesize properly. Animals would have little time to hunt or rest, and life in general would have to sprint just to keep up. The moon's gravity pulls on Earth gently but steadily, acting like a brake that slows the planet's spin. Every tiny pull over millions of years helped stretch our days to a pace life could actually adapt to. The moon also pulls on the oceans, creating tides. We see tides at the beach, but their effect goes far beyond waves crashing on the shore. Tides move massive amounts of water across the planet. This movement mixes nutrients, spreads oxygen, and keeps ecosystems alive. Without the moon, tides would shrink dramatically, leaving only small changes caused by the sun. Oceans would stagnate, coral reefs could collapse, fish populations would drop. Wetlands might vanish. Life in the seas depends on this invisible heartbeat that rises and falls every day, thanks to the moon. Even the smallest creatures, like crabs digging burrows or baby turtles making their way to the ocean, rely on these tides. Now picture the nights. Without the moon, nights would be pitch black. Right now, moonlight illuminates paths for animals. Predators hunt, prey hides, turtles find their way. Without that glow, life would adapt in strange ways or fail to adapt at all. Animals that rely on light cycles could get lost. Owls, wolves, and many other creatures depend on the moon's gentle illumination to move safely and hunt efficiently. Even humans have built our cycles around the moon's light for thousands of years. Its absence would change how life organizes itself entirely. But the moon's role doesn't stop there. Back when Earth was young, it was molten, chaotic, and far too hostile for life. A massive collision with a planet-sized object sent debris into space. Over time, that debris formed the moon. This crash was catastrophic, but it also shaped Earth in ways that made life possible. It cooled the planet just enough to form oceans, giving water a stable place to exist. Without this event, Earth might still be a wild, unstable ball of rock and fire. The moon is, in a way, born from chaos, and yet it became the ultimate stabilizer for life. Over billions of years, the moon also took on the role of protector. Space is full of asteroids and meteors flying around at incredible speeds. Many of them could strike Earth with deadly force. The moon, being a big target nearby, takes many of the hits that might otherwise hit our planet. Over time, it has saved countless lives by acting as a cosmic shield. Its quiet presence above us is one of the reasons complex life could survive long enough to evolve. Even the Earth's magnetic field, which protects life from harmful solar radiation, depends indirectly on the moon. The spinning of Earth's molten core generates this magnetic field. The moon keeps the planet's spin steady enough to maintain the field. Without it, solar winds could weaken the field, exposing life on the surface to dangerous radiation from the sun. Humans, animals, plants, everything would be at risk without that invisible shield. Think about how life adapted to all these effects over time. Early plants needed steady days to photosynthesize. Animals needed predictable nights to hunt and hide. Seasons needed to be consistent for migration and reproduction. Even ocean life depended on tides moving nutrients and oxygen throughout the water. Every living thing developed with the moon silently influencing Earth's environment. Remove it, and the rhythm of life is thrown into chaos. Imagine the effect on humans if the moon vanished suddenly. Days would shorten, nights would go dark, tides would shrink, and seasons would swing unpredictably. Coastal communities would face vanishing wetlands, fisheries would collapse, and storms might become stronger or more erratic. Agriculture would become a gamble with unpredictable growing conditions. Civilization as we know it relies on the moon, even if we rarely think about it. Even tiny details of the Earth's environment depend on the moon. Its pull on the oceans affects winds, which affect weather patterns. Its steady gravitational influence keeps the tilt consistent, preventing extreme swings in climate over thousands of years. Its presence slows the rotation of the planet, giving life a rhythm it can follow. Its reflection of sunlight lights the night sky, influencing nocturnal behavior in countless species. The moon's influence is everywhere, from the smallest plankton in the ocean to human activity on land. And yet, despite all this, the moon is easy to take for granted. We see it in the sky, glowing quietly, and think of it as just a decoration. In reality, it is a giant stabilizer, protector, and guide. Without it, Earth would be a wobbly, unpredictable, dangerous place. Life as we know it might never have evolved. The oceans would be stagnant, days too short, nights too dark, seasons too wild. Even small creatures would struggle to survive. The moon is small in size, but enormous in impact. Think about the oceans again. Without the moon, tides wouldn't rise and fall like they do now. High tide and low tide create rhythms that life depends on. Tiny plankton float with the currents, spreading food across the oceans. Fish travel with these currents. Crabs dig their burrows where water rises and falls. Coral reefs grow where nutrients are carried by tides. Without tides, these tiny movements stop. Oxygen doesn't reach every corner. Nutrients sit in one place. Some species would die off slowly, while others struggle to survive. Even a small loss in nutrients can ripple through the entire food chain, changing life in ways we can't fully imagine. The moon also affects the climate in subtle ways. Its gravitational pull doesn't just move water, it nudges the Earth itself. This helps stabilize winds and weather patterns over long periods. Without it, storms could swing wildly in strength and location. One year a region could face endless rain, the next year extreme drought. Crops might fail unpredictably. Animals might not know when to breed or migrate. Life thrives on patterns, and the moon keeps those patterns steady. Now imagine early Earth before the moon. It was a molten, chaotic world. Volcanoes spewed lava. The surface cooled in patches Oceans formed and evaporated repeatedly. Then came the giant impact. A planet-sized object collided with Earth, throwing massive amounts of debris into space. Over time, this debris clumped together to form the moon. That crash could have destroyed everything, but it also gave Earth stability. It helped cool the planet enough for oceans to survive. It created tides, slowed the spin slightly, and steadied the tilt. Life might never have begun without that moment. Even the days themselves are shaped by the moon. Right now, Earth rotates once every 24 hours. That rhythm is crucial for life. Back in the distant past, a day was only 6 hours long. The sun would rise and set so quickly, plants would barely get enough light to grow. Animals would have to sleep, hunt, and feed in frantic cycles, trying to keep up. The moon's gentle gravitational pull slowed the spin, stretching days over millions of years to the pace life can manage. Without it, life might still exist, but it would be far more fragile and chaotic. The moon also helps protect Earth from deadly threats from space. Asteroids and meteors travel at incredible speeds, some big enough to wipe out entire ecosystems. The moon, floating nearby, takes the hits that might have landed on Earth. Billions of years of impacts have scarred its surface. Every crater is a reminder of what could have struck our planet. Without the moon, Earth would have faced far more disasters, and complex life might not have survived to evolve into the creatures we see today. Even the Earth's magnetic field is influenced by the moon. The molten core of the planet spins and generates this field. It acts as a shield, protecting us from solar radiation that could fry the surface. The moon's pull stabilizes Earth's spin, keeping the magnetic field strong. Without it, solar winds might weaken the field. Life on the surface could be exposed to harmful radiation. Every breath we take, every cell in our body relies on that quiet protection. Think about the moon's light. Nighttime is soft and illuminated, not pitch black. Animals use this light to navigate. Owls hunt silently in the night. Wolves track prey carefully. Sea turtles find the ocean when they hatch. Even humans in ancient times relied on moonlight to move safely at night. Without the moon, darkness would dominate the night, forcing life to adapt in drastic ways. Predators would struggle to find food, and prey could lose their hiding advantage. Life would need to adjust, or many species might disappear. Now imagine how the moon affects migration. Birds, whales, and countless other species rely on predictable patterns in light, tides, and seasons to navigate thousands of miles. The moon's influence on tides and illumination gives them markers to guide their journeys. Without the moon, these patterns would be disrupted. Many species could become lost, starving, or unable to reproduce. Life depends on these tiny, steady signals. Even the simplest forms of life, like plankton or small fish, rely on the moon. Tidal movement spreads them through the oceans. Nutrients mix and reach places they wouldn't otherwise. Food chains start with these tiny movements. Without the moon, the base of the food chain could collapse, affecting everything above it, including humans. Back in the earliest days of life, the moon shaped evolution itself. The gentle cycles of light, the tides, the stable days and seasons, all created predictable environments for life to develop. Plants learned to grow in rhythm with the sun and tides. Animals adapted to hunt, breed, and rest in these patterns. Life became complex because the environment was predictable enough to allow it. Remove the moon, and those rhythms break. Chaos becomes the norm, making complex life far less likely to survive. Even human life is influenced by the moon, though we often forget it. Our ancestors tracked its cycles to plant crops, hunt, and organize communities. Calendars were based on the moon. Festivals, traditions, and navigation relied on its presence. Its disappearance would have forced early humans to reinvent basic survival strategies. We may not feel the moon's pull directly today, but without it, our entire species might have had a very different history. Consider Earth's rotation again. The moon's braking effect not only lengthens days, but also prevents extreme wobbling. Imagine a top spinning uncontrollably. It would fall over quickly. Without the moon, Earth's wobble could swing drastically, causing unpredictable climate shifts. One year might have a summer that scorches everything, and the next winter could freeze entire regions. Life would have to adapt continuously or perish. The moon also acts as a stabilizing anchor in a chaotic solar system. Other planets pull gravitationally on Earth. The moon's presence balances those forces. Without it, Earth's orbit could vary more over time. Seasons, tides, and even the path of the sun in the sky could change slowly but drastically over centuries. Life evolves slowly, so any long-term instability makes survival harder. Even the small details matter. Many nocturnal animals time their hunting and feeding around moonlight. Certain plants rely on tides to release seeds. Fish spawn according to the rising and falling waters. These tiny cycles build up into the ecosystems we see today. Without the moon, the entire web of life would shift in ways that are hard to imagine, with some species disappearing and others struggling to survive. The moon shapes Earth more than most people realize. It's not just decoration in the night sky. It stabilizes the tilt, slows the spin, powers tides, protects from asteroids, shields from radiation, lights the night, and guides countless species. Life depends on it in ways we rarely notice. Without it, Earth would be a harsher, more unpredictable place. And yet, the moon is quiet. It doesn't scream or force itself into our attention. It just orbits steadily, influencing everything below. Every ocean wave, every season, every animal behavior, even human history, relies on it in some way. It is the silent, constant guardian of our planet. Think about it tonight when you look up. That glowing rock in the sky seems small, but it carries an enormous responsibility. Without the moon, Earth would wobble, days would race by, tides would shrink, oceans would stagnate, nights would be pitch black, and life would face unimaginable challenges. The moon is small in size but massive in impact. Every breath, every ocean current, every season we enjoy depends on it. Now let's dive deeper into the oceans, where the moon's influence is even more powerful than we might think. The tides, the currents, and the tiniest creatures all rely on its pull. Life in the water has been shaped by the moon for millions of years, and without it, things would look very different. The oceans are alive in ways we often overlook. They are not just water. They are highways, homes, and food sources for countless creatures. The moon's pull moves them in steady patterns, shaping currents that carry life across the globe. These currents spread tiny organisms called plankton. Plankton might seem insignificant, but they are the base of almost every food chain in the ocean. Fish feed on them. Birds feed on the fish. Even humans rely on this chain for food. Remove the moon and this movement slows. Currents become sluggish. Nutrients stay trapped in one area. Some regions may even become low in oxygen, turning into dead zones where nothing can survive. Coral reefs, for example, depend on the constant motion of the ocean. Nutrients and oxygen flow through them because the tides mix the water. Without the moon, many reefs could collapse. Entire ecosystems built around them would unravel. Fish populations would decline. Predators like sharks and dolphins would lose their food. Even species on land like birds that feed on fish would be affected. The moon may seem distant and quiet, but its effect reaches every corner of the oceans and beyond. Marine life isn't the only thing shaped by tides. Coastal wetlands also rely on regular flooding and draining. These areas are nurseries for young fish and crustaceans. They filter water and protect the land from storms. Without the moon, tides would weaken. Wetlands could shrink or disappear. Young marine animals might die before they can grow. Floods and storms might hit the coasts more severely because there's less natural water buffering. Life would be under constant stress. Now, think about the moon's role in slowing Earth's spin. This isn't just about the length of a day. A slower spin gives life time to adjust. Plants can photosynthesize longer each day. Animals can hunt, rest, and reproduce on a reliable schedule. In the distant past, when days were shorter, life evolved under rapid cycles of light and dark. Those early species had to adapt to fast sunrises and sunsets. As the moon slowed Earth over millions of years, it gave ecosystems the chance to stabilize. New species could emerge and survive. Complex life might never have existed if days had remained too short for adaptation. The moon's influence extends even further to Earth's magnetic field. This invisible shield surrounds the planet and blocks dangerous radiation from the sun. Without it, life would be exposed to deadly solar winds. The moon stabilizes Earth's spin enough to keep the magnetic field strong. If the moon weren't there, the field could weaken or fluctuate. Radiation would strike the surface more frequently, mutating or killing life. Ancient microbes that eventually gave rise to all life today might not have survived without this protection. Even humans owe their very existence to this quiet cosmic guardian. Now imagine extreme what-if scenarios. What if the moon disappeared overnight? The first thing would be chaos in the oceans. Tides would shrink dramatically, coastal ecosystems would collapse, fish would struggle to reproduce, birds would lose a major food source, wetlands and estuaries would dry out. Storms might become more unpredictable, hitting coasts with greater force. The moon also affects the Earth's tilt. Without it, seasons could swing wildly. One year might scorch entire continents in relentless heat. The next winters could freeze everything in place. Crops would fail, animals would struggle to survive, and humans would face famine. Life as we know it depends on the moon's steady influence. Even small creatures rely on lunar cycles. Many species of crabs, worms, and mollusks time their reproduction with the tides. These cycles evolved over millions of years, creating predictable patterns for survival. Without the moon, these rhythms vanish. Reproduction becomes uncertain. Entire species could disappear. These tiny changes ripple outward, affecting fish, birds, mammals, and eventually humans. Life is a web, and the moon keeps the threads from unraveling. The moon also affects long-term evolution. Stable days, nights, tides, and seasons create predictable environments. Life can develop strategies, behaviors, and adaptations. Without the moon, life would constantly face unpredictable conditions. Plants might not know when to bloom. Animals could fail to breed successfully. Predators and prey would be thrown off balance. Evolution would become a struggle against chaos rather than a slow process of adaptation. Complex life might never reach the stage where creatures like us could exist. Consider humans again. Our ancestors tracked the moon for thousands of years. Lunar cycles helped them plant crops, hunt, and navigate. Festivals and cultural traditions were based on its phases. Its light guided them safely at night. If the moon had never existed, early humans would have faced a radically different reality. They might not have had the same ability to organize societies, grow food, or survive in certain regions. Civilization itself might have emerged later or not at all. The moon also acts as a shield from space hazards. Asteroids and meteors constantly travel through the solar system. The moon takes many of the hits that might otherwise strike Earth. Each crater on its surface is a reminder of what could have hit our planet. Without this shield, life would have faced repeated cataclysms. Mass extinctions could have been far more frequent, possibly preventing complex life from ever evolving. The moon's presence allows life the time and stability it needs to grow, diversify, and flourish. Even subtle behaviors are influenced by the moon. Some sea turtles, birds, and fish navigate by moonlight or tidal cues. Plants release seeds based on tides. Predators hunt, and prey hides in alignment with lunar cycles. These tiny, almost invisible effects are crucial for survival. Remove the moon and these behaviors become unreliable. Ecosystems lose balance. Predation, reproduction, and growth are thrown into chaos. The moon's influence reaches the smallest details of life, yet it is so easy to overlook. The moon also shapes weather patterns indirectly. By affecting tides, it influences winds and ocean currents. Without its pull, winds might become more extreme and unpredictable. Regions could experience sudden floods or droughts. Life, which depends on predictable weather for breeding and growth, would face enormous challenges. Plants might fail to grow, animals could migrate at the wrong time, humans would struggle to farm. Entire ecosystems could collapse. And yet, despite all this, the moon is quiet. It doesn't force itself into attention. It orbits steadily, gently guiding the planet. Every high tide, every migration, every rhythm of life depends on its presence. It affects the oceans, the climate, animal behavior, and even human culture. It is small in size, yet enormous in influence. Without it, the Earth we know would be unrecognizable, unpredictable, and harsh. The moon also stabilizes the very shape of Earth's oceans and land. Its gravitational pull subtly tugs at the planet, causing tides in the land itself. This movement releases energy, which gradually reshapes coastlines, smooths ocean basins, and influences volcanic and earthquake activity. Without the moon, the land itself might behave differently, creating harsher conditions for life over millions of years. The first oceans on Earth were teeming with tiny life forms. Microbes floated in the water, feeding on chemicals and sunlight. Over millions of years, they evolved into more complex creatures. The moon helped this process. Tides carry nutrients and oxygen into every corner of the seas. Without the moon, these nutrients might have stayed trapped in small areas. Some microbes could die before evolving into larger forms. Small disruptions in the ocean can have massive consequences for evolution. Life depends on the moon to keep the oceans moving, giving organisms a chance to survive and grow. Even early fish relied on the moon. They swam with the currents, feeding and reproducing in patterns set by tides. Coral polyps built reefs where tidal flow brought food and oxygen. The earliest predators evolved around these rhythms, hunting when currents brought prey. Without the moon, tides would be weaker, food would be scarce, and predator-prey relationships would break down. Many species might never have evolved into the complex forms we see today. The moon also influenced the first animals moving onto land. Amphibians emerged from the oceans to explore rivers and wetlands. They relied on steady water levels to reproduce and survive. Tides helped maintain wetland habitats, ensuring eggs stayed moist and young could grow safely. Without the moon, wetlands would dry unpredictably. Many early land species could have died before they adapted to life outside water. The moon didn't just shape the oceans, it shaped the land too, creating conditions that allowed life to thrive outside the water. Over millions of years, life continued to evolve, building complexity. The moon's pull on tides influenced not only marine life but also coastal ecosystems. Birds, reptiles, and mammals learned to track tides and lunar cycles. Eggs were laid, migrations timed, hunting patterns coordinated. Each species adapted to rhythms created by the moon. Without it, these behaviors could fail. A missing cue from tides or moonlight could mean a failed breeding season, starving offspring, and population collapse. Even tiny changes ripple outward through entire ecosystems. Humans, long after they appeared, were also shaped by the moon. Our ancestors noticed its cycles, using them to track time. They planted crops when the moon signaled fertile days. They traveled, hunted, and gathered according to its light. Ancient calendars were based on lunar months. Even modern culture retains echoes of this influence. Festivals, rituals, and traditions revolve around lunar phases. Without the moon, early humans might have faced chaos in agriculture, navigation, and survival. Civilization as we know it could have been delayed or never emerged at all. The moon's absence would also affect extreme weather and climate patterns. Without its stabilizing influence, Earth's tilt could swing dramatically. Seasons would vary wildly from year to year. One summer could scorch an entire continent. The next winter could freeze everything solid. Storms might intensify unexpectedly. Hurricanes, monsoons, and floods could strike unpredictably. Life depends on predictability, even small amounts. Humans, plants, and animals all rely on patterns to survive. Without the moon, chaos would become normal. Even the tiniest creatures depend on the moon's presence. Crabs time their burrowing and feeding with tides. Sea turtles rely on tides and moonlight to reach the ocean safely. Fish spawn according to tidal rhythms. Plants release seeds in alignment with tides. Remove the moon and these cycles vanish. Reproduction becomes unreliable. Species might vanish slowly, eventually collapsing entire ecosystems. The web of life depends on lunar rhythms. The moon also indirectly affects evolution itself. Stable days, nights, and seasons allow species to adapt gradually. Predictable environments give life the chance to experiment, evolve, and survive. Without the moon, environmental conditions could swing wildly. Plants might bloom too early or too late. Animals could fail to breed or migrate at the wrong time. Predators might lose prey. Entire populations could die out before adapting. Evolution thrives on stability, and the moon provides it. Consider humans again. The moon guided migration, agriculture, and social organization. Lunar cycles helped early humans know when to plant crops, when to harvest, and when to travel safely. Its light allowed them to move at night, hunting or avoiding danger. Festivals and rituals revolved around its phases. Without the moon, humans would face a world without reliable calendars, without safe night travel, and without predictable natural cycles. Survival would be far more difficult. Civilization might have taken an entirely different path. Even geological processes depend on the moon. Its gravitational pull affects tides in both water and land. These subtle movements release energy, which shapes coastlines, ocean basins, and even volcanic and earthquake activity. Without the moon, landforms might evolve differently. Some regions could face more extreme earthquakes or volcanic events. Life on land would have to adapt to these harsher conditions, making survival more difficult. The moon's protection from space hazards is also crucial. Asteroids and meteors constantly travel through the solar system. The moon absorbs many impacts that might otherwise hit Earth. Every crater on its surface is a reminder of what could have struck our planet. Without it, Earth would face more frequent and severe collisions. Mass extinctions could happen repeatedly, preventing complex life from evolving. The moon allows life the time and stability it needs to diversify and thrive. Even subtle behaviors rely on the moon. Some birds, fish, and marine mammals navigate by lunar cues. Certain plants release seeds according to tides. Predators hunt, prey hides, and reproduction is timed to lunar patterns. Without these cues, behaviors could fail. Populations might collapse. Entire ecosystems could unravel. Life is finely tuned to the moon's presence. Remove it and balance is lost. The moon also shapes weather indirectly. By moving ocean water, it influences winds and storms. Without it, winds could become more extreme. Rainfall could become unpredictable. Floods and droughts might strike without warning. Plants, animals, and humans all depend on stable weather. Without the moon, Earth's climate becomes harsher, more erratic, and less predictable. Even human culture is tied to the moon. Calendars, farming, hunting, navigation, and social organization all trace back to its cycles. The moon quietly shaped our civilizations. Without it, humans might never have developed agriculture reliably. Exploration and settlement would be more dangerous. Lunar phases became a natural clock for ancient people, guiding daily life in ways we often forget. The moon influences migration on a massive scale. Birds, whales, and fish use lunar cues for long journeys. Without them, navigation fails. Many species could die before reaching breeding grounds. Populations would decline. Predators lose prey. Ecosystems would collapse. The moon's influence reaches continents, oceans, and skies, connecting life in ways we barely notice. Even subtle ocean processes depend on the moon. Nutrients and oxygen mix in currents guided by tides. Coral reefs, seagrass beds, and kelp forests rely on moving water to survive. Remove the moon and these habitats shrink. Species that rely on them face extinction. Food chains collapse. Humans dependent on oceans would also struggle. Life everywhere depends on the moon's silent pull. The moon shapes evolution itself. Stable cycles of light, dark, tides, and seasons allow life to adapt slowly. Predictable conditions give species a chance to experiment and survive. Without it, survival is a constant gamble. Species might vanish before they evolve complex traits. Complex life, including humans, depends on this stability. The moon also impacts geology. Its gravitational pull moves both water and land. These movements release energy, slowly reshaping coastlines, ocean basins, and volcanic activity. Earth's crust behaves more predictably with the moon. Without it, earthquakes and volcanoes could become more extreme and less predictable. Life on land would have to survive harsher conditions. Even cosmic risks are reduced by the moon. Asteroids strike it, protecting Earth. Mass extinctions could have been more frequent without this shield. Life might never have evolved into the diversity we see today. The moon gives life the stability and protection to survive billions of years. Now let's explore how life on land, at night, and even humans have been shaped by the moon. From plant cycles to nocturnal animals to the very course of our civilization, its presence has quietly guided life in ways we rarely notice, and we'll imagine what Earth would be like without it. Life on Earth has evolved in a rhythm set by the moon. Plants open their flowers at certain times, animals hunt or rest according to cycles, and humans have long relied on predictable patterns. The moon's presence shaped behaviors from the smallest plankton to the largest mammals. Without it, these adaptations would have faced constant challenges. Some species might never have existed. The timing of reproduction, feeding, and migration all depend on the stability the moon provides. Take nocturnal animals, for example. Owls, bats, and certain insects use moonlight to navigate and hunt. Sea turtles follow lunar cues to find the ocean. Without the moon, darkness would dominate the night. Predators might lose their hunting advantage, and prey could be exposed unpredictably. Survival becomes a gamble. Creatures would need new strategies, and many could fail to adapt. The moon quietly organizes life after the sun sets, providing a gentle guide in the darkness. Even plants rely on lunar rhythms. Some release seeds during certain tides, timed to the moon's pull. Others track light cycles to grow at the right pace. Without these cues, plants might bloom too early or too late. Seeds could be carried to the wrong place. Pollinators might fail to find flowers at the right time. The subtle influence of the moon on these patterns shapes entire ecosystems. Every forest, meadow, and coral reef is part of this delicate orchestration. Humans have been influenced by the moon for thousands of years. Lunar calendars guided farming and hunting. Ancient people used moonlight to travel safely at night. Stories, myths, and rituals often center on the moon. Our perception of time and cycles has been subtly shaped by its presence. Without the moon, humans might have struggled to organize communities, track seasons, or develop agriculture reliably. Civilization itself owes something to this silent companion in the sky. Now consider the moon's cosmic role. Billions of years ago, Earth was chaotic. A massive collision with a planet-sized object threw debris into space. That debris eventually coalesced into the moon. This violent beginning shaped Earth's environment, stabilizing the tilt and creating tides. Without the moon, the young planet might have remained unstable. Oceans could have evaporated or frozen unpredictably, and life may never have emerged. The moon's origin is a story of destruction turned into stability, chaos transformed into order. Even geological processes are influenced by the moon. Its gravitational pull subtly moves land and water. These movements release energy, shaping coastlines, ocean basins, and volcanic activity. Without it, earthquakes and eruptions could be more extreme and less predictable. Life on land would face harsher challenges. The moon is not just a bright rock in the sky. It shapes the very planet beneath our feet. The moon also acts as a shield. Meteors and asteroids constantly travel through space. Many that would strike Earth hit the moon instead. Each crater on its surface is a reminder of what might have been. Without this protection, mass extinctions could be more frequent. Complex life might never have survived long enough to evolve. The moon quietly preserves life, giving species the time to adapt and diversify. Imagine a world without the moon. Days would be shorter, nights darker, and oceans sluggish. Seasons would swing wildly. Storms could strike unpredictably. Coastal ecosystems might collapse. Migration patterns could fail. Life, from microbes to humans, would face constant instability. The delicate rhythm that evolution depends on would break. Many species might vanish before adapting. The world would be harsher, less hospitable, and far less diverse. Humans, too, would face challenges. Agriculture would be unreliable without lunar cues. Navigation at night would be harder without moonlight. Calendars and festivals tied to the moon would not exist. Early civilizations might struggle to organize or survive. The moon has quietly shaped human history as much as it has shaped the planet. Its absence would ripple through time, altering everything we take for granted. Even small details in life depend on the moon. Coral reefs, wetlands, and estuaries rely on tidal movement. Birds and fish navigate using lunar cues. Plants release seeds and bloom according to cycles influenced by the moon. Remove it, and these systems become unstable. The web of life, finely tuned over millions of years, starts to unravel. Life is resilient, but it thrives best under predictable conditions, and the moon provides that. Think about evolution again. Stable cycles of light, dark, tides, and seasons allow species to experiment and adapt. Without the moon, environmental conditions would swing wildly. Plants might bloom at the wrong time. Animals might fail to breed or hunt. Predators and prey could lose balance. Entire populations could collapse. Complex life depends on this stability to evolve. The moon is the quiet architect of Earth's diversity. The moon's presence also affects climate over long time scales. By stabilizing Earth's tilt, it prevents extreme swings in temperature and seasonal patterns. Without it, ice ages and heat waves could happen unpredictably. Agriculture, animal survival, and human civilization would face constant threats. The moon maintains the planet's rhythm, giving life a fighting chance. Even humans, unknowingly, are guided by lunar cycles. Our sleep patterns, cultural traditions, and agricultural practices have long been influenced by its presence. Festivals, rituals, and myths often revolve around the moon. Its light at night provides a sense of safety and continuity. Without it, humans might have developed entirely different behaviors and societies. The moon is embedded in our biology and culture, shaping us in ways we barely notice. The moon also impacts nighttime environments. Many predators and prey rely on moonlight for navigation and hunting. Sea turtles use it to find the ocean. Nocturnal animals use it to move safely. Remove the moon and nights become unpredictable. Animals must adapt quickly or perish. The moon quietly sets the stage for life after dark, orchestrating behaviors and interactions that humans rarely see. Even the tiniest organisms feel its influence. Plankton, coral polyps, and small fish are affected by tides and lunar cycles. Reproduction, feeding, and migration rely on these rhythms. Remove the moon and these patterns vanish. Populations collapse. Food chains fail. Ecosystems unravel. Life's foundation depends on the moon's presence. The moon also preserves the balance of Earth in the solar system. It reduces the effects of gravitational pulls from other planets. Without it, Earth's orbit might shift slowly over thousands of years. Seasons and climates could fluctuate more drastically. Life evolves best under steady conditions, and the moon helps maintain them. Consider the long-term what-ifs. If the moon disappeared millions of years ago, life might still exist, but it would be fragile, chaotic, and less diverse. Oceans would stagnate. Reproduction patterns would fail. Predators might overhunt prey. Plants might bloom at the wrong time. Human survival could be compromised. Civilization might never have advanced. The moon quietly prevented these catastrophic outcomes, giving life the stability it needed to flourish. Even cosmic events are moderated by the moon. Its gravitational pull stabilizes Earth during close encounters with asteroids or comets. Its presence influences tides, weather patterns, and even minor shifts in the Earth's crust. Without it, the planet could face more extreme conditions, from climate swings to geological disasters. Life's survival depends on these subtle, interconnected effects. The moon's quiet guidance is everywhere. From oceans to land, from microbes to humans, it shapes the planet and life itself. Its gravitational pull moves water, shapes currents, stabilizes the tilt, and slows rotation. Its presence protects Earth from impacts, radiation, and chaotic environmental swings. Nighttime is illuminated. Life cycles are predictable. Even humans, unknowingly, are influenced by lunar patterns. Tonight, when you look up at the moon, imagine everything it does. It is not just a decoration in the sky. It is a stabilizer, protector, guide, and teacher. Without it, Earth would be chaotic, oceans stagnant, nights dark, seasons extreme, and life far more fragile. The moon's presence allows life to exist, evolve, and thrive. Every plant, animal, and human owes a debt to this quiet guardian. The moon may seem small and distant, but its impact is enormous. It shapes the very rhythms of Earth, guiding oceans, weather, seasons, and life itself. Without it, survival would be uncertain. Life would struggle, adapt, or vanish. The moon is the silent architect of Earth's stability, the unseen force keeping the planet balanced. Its presence turns chaos into order, darkness into light, unpredictability into rhythm. Look at it tonight and remember, this glowing rock in the sky is not just beautiful, it is essential. It is life's quiet companion, shaping the Earth, guiding its oceans, stabilizing its tilt, protecting it from cosmic threats, and giving life the chance to grow, evolve, and flourish. The moon is small in size but immense in importance. Without it, the world we know would be unrecognizable.